In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Today, brothers and sisters, we hear the parable of the talents. So it's a aforemention of the kingdom and how we can get into it. Christ tells us a parable of a king giving talents to his servants to look over them and to be good stewards over them until he came back, and then a reward would be given to those who had taken care of it. As we know that this parable, we hear it every year, it has to do with both our financial stewardship of what is given to us, all those things that God has given to us in our care of, and also our spiritual talents, those gifts that God has given us. He wants us to multiply it. This is often a kind of a difficult maybe reading for, especially today, in this world of gripes of injustice, of inequality. We hear it all the time. It seems that God is not so just, he's not so equitous with his gifts, right? He says, this person's getting 5, this one's getting 1. Not everyone's getting the same, brothers and sisters. Not everyone is given the same gifts in the same amount. But we're all giving something, even if so little. We're giving something, and it is our duty to take what is given to us and to multiply it, to do effort, to do work on behalf of the glory of God, in order to give him something back on the day when we are called to judgment before him. So yes, this is both a thing of stewardship of our earthly possessions, but also stewardship of those spiritual gifts that would give us. Mainly those virtues as Christians that we try to live out in our lives. That we are given these gifts and that we have to work at using them wisely and growing as individuals. And so I want to mention a little bit about the person of most interest in this sermon today, or in this parable. And that was the person who got reprimanded, who did not enter into the kingdom, for he did not do well with his gifts. Right? He hid the gift in the earth because of his fear of the king. He did not want to take a chance to lose it. And so what is this that he did? He did not actually do anything bad, right? He didn't do a great sin. He wasn't bad to the king. He didn't complain about the king. He knew who the king was. He knew that he was a fearful man, and he was just afraid. So why is it that we are so stern about this man for doing nothing? He gave it back. He held it. He preserved it. Did he not? So what's the difficulty with this? The thing is that this man is, and if we put it into our own perspective in our own lives, it's the sin of indifference. It's the sin of omission that this guy did. He did nothing. He did nothing. He did not work. He did not care to improve himself and to prove the gifts that were given to him. He was indifferent. Yes, maybe he did not do bad things in life. And if we look at our own lives, sometimes we don't sin a whole lot, right? We come to confession with difficulty and thinking, where in my life did I make mistakes? I try to live a good Christian life, and for the most part, I'm not a sinful person outwardly, and so I don't really know what to confess. Well, then we have to start looking at the sins of omission. Those things that we were indifferent to, those things we looked the other way on, the things that we should have done but we left undone. Perhaps it was offering forgiveness to someone that really needs it from us, and we didn't do that. We looked the other way. Perhaps it was some prayers or some church services that we really know we really should have been at, but we didn't. We could have made it, but we didn't. That's a sin of omission. Perhaps it was the handout to somebody who was in need, but we just, at that time, we weren't moved to do it, so we didn't do it. You didn't do it. Sin of omission. Perhaps it was something spiritual in your life, some opportunity to grow, something that you wanted, you should have taken advantage of, but you didn't. That's indifference, brothers and sisters, to our salvation. And so it's a sin of omission. Those things that are left undone. The kindness that you could have extended to somebody, but you didn't do it. The kind word, just a thank you. You didn't say it. These are sins, just like sinning outwardly in our action. And this is why this person in this parable, this individual who just buried the treasure, was reprimanded because he was given a gift. He was given an opportunity and just did nothing with it. No effort. Laziness. indifference. If we go through the gospel, one thing that really bothers our Lord is hypocrisy, but also indifference. Indifference to our salvation, taking it for granted, taking what is given to us and doing absolutely nothing with it. It bothers him a lot. This parable is evident to it. And so he says that those who have little will be taken, it'll be taken away from them. And those who have a lot will be given more. Why? Because they were faithful in little things. And we have to be faithful in the little things. It's really the little things that really where the war is waged in our lives spiritually too, don't you think? Like we don't generally fall, we in this church who are faithful to come into church services on Sundays, we don't have big falls sometimes, right? We don't have these big, great temptations that we succumb to all the time, these great evil sins. No, it's the small things, right? It's the little things that we just kind of let happen in our lives, whether they're sinful or whether they're just things that we just don't want to deal with. We put it out to the side. It's not important, right? I can maybe do something later on. That's really where we fall, isn't it, brothers and sisters? We who are trying to be faithful, right? It's the little things that we have to work on. The little things that we have to be faithful in so that we can be given more. We be given blessings more from the Lord. And so, yes, if you are given little and you do nothing with it, you're going to end up with nothing. Nothing from our Lord. And that is a scary thought because this parable is the parable of the kingdom. A parable of getting into what we would like to say heaven, right? How do we get to heaven? Be faithful in the little things. Don't be indifferent to your salvation. If there is something that you've left undone, take care of it. Do not let those sins of omission build up, brothers and sisters, because then we are no better than that man who took his treasure, buried it in the ground, and tried to give it back to the Lord. Our hands will be slapped. In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.